Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would share a get ready with me as I get ready for the Iron Maiden film premiere for Burning Ambition in Leicester Square tonight. People over the years have asked me about my makeup routine. Um, I'm sad to say I haven't changed my look really since my MTV days because I had a makeup artist who designed a look for me that just I thought really suited me, and I've just really stuck with it. So I do change it up a little bit from time to time, but yeah, I know what suits me and I stick with it. So I'm starting with a completely cleansed face, and the first thing I do is prep, and I would say this is at least a quarter of my routine, preparing my skin for makeup and making sure that it looks good and that it stays there. So first of all, I do a special mask by Evidence, and I really like this because it really hydrates the skin, moisturizes it, uh, gives it a real radiance, and it also helps my makeup to stay on because when you're filming, like when I was on the Skeletor with Ghost, I probably had my makeup on for about 8 to 10 hours per day. So it had to look good for a long period of time. So this is the process that I go through. So my mask is on, and I am just gonna let this sit and uh, basically do its magic because it really is good. And then I shall cleanse it off and then start the next stage of my prep. Okay, that's my mask done. My face feels nice and smooth and hydrated. And I actually should have mentioned when I started that although I do have a dressing table and mirror in my bedroom, I do just tend to like sitting on the bed and doing my makeup, and I just use a small hand mirror. And I mentioned earlier actually about not really changing my makeup since the MTV days. And it's interesting because on the Skeletor, the last night at Inglewood, I did some social media content with the amazing Gottmik, and he complimented me on my makeup. And I told him, I hadn't really changed it for many, many years. And he was like, "You go, girl, you look amazing, you don't need to change it." So that was very sweet of him and much appreciated. Anyway, carrying on now, my next stage is I use the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator. I really like this product. It's got a slightly iridescent sheen to it. And again, I find it very hydrating and smoothing and gives a nice glow. And it does act as a primer as well, although I do use other primers. So that is my first bit of prep done. My next bit of prep is I love the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum. I can't tell you exactly what it does, but it does seem to do something. I think it's quite sort of smoothing. And again, it has some iridescence in it. And again, it just makes my skin feel really comfortable and smooth and hydrated. So I put that on. All of these products that I'm using are from my own makeup and skincare kit. I'm not sponsored, and I'm just sharing with you what I use because so many people have asked, but I'm not advocating them in any way other than I use them myself. So Next, I use an actual primer. This is the Natasha Denona Hygen Energizing and Hydrating Primer Serum. Again, I just like the feel of this and the result that it gives. Kind of focus putting it under my eyes, although I am going to use a concealer. And then finally, I use the Refi Glow and Sculpt primer. Actually, just use my mirror as a little fan to dry everything off. And you only need a tiny, tiny bit of this. So I just squeeze it until a tiny bit of the product comes onto the roller. Just quite like this because it feels like you're doing a little bit of sculpting with the roller. I think it does help makeup to stay on, and it does give a kind of smooth finish. So that's that. And along the way, I always do a little bit of hand gua sha type movements, just to get the product going and to energize my skin, help keep it lifted. That is my skin fully prepped. I think you can see it looks nice and healthy and plump and hydrated. And I think good skin is the basis of any makeup look. And it's really worth spending a little bit of extra time on the prep. My next step is to use concealer. I use the number 7 Lift and Illuminate. And I just put this under my eyes. I use a primer for my eyelids as well. Then I take a sponge and blend that all in. That is my under eye concealer done. Uh-oh, Scotty's in the house. He's come to help me. He always kind of digs through my makeup bag, which is a little bit annoying. Sometimes I do an extra level and I use the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blur Stick. I quite like this because, again, it acts a little bit like a kind of underlayer to your makeup, just to blur out any imperfections and give a really polished finish. And that's really what I'm always aiming for. I always have to think about what my makeup's going to look like on camera, how it's going to last through a long filming session. And although I use quite heavy eyeliner, as you'll see later, I do want a reasonably natural, sort of elegant look. I don't want to feel like I'm absolutely caked in makeup. I don't think that's particularly flattering. I think makeup artists can do it and really create a good polished look, but personally, I don't think I would be very good at doing that. So now I've got my blur kind of underlayer on. I can go to my foundation. Now foundation has always been a bit tricky for me. I do struggle to match the color. So what I tend to do is I kind of blend my own color out of two different makeups. And this also helps me achieve the right consistency because I want a medium kind of coverage. So I start with the KVD Serum Foundation. So I put a squeeze of that onto my hand. And then I also add to it the Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting for foundation. So I've got those two together on my hand and I just mix them together. And I just feel that it creates the right shade and the right level of foundation for me. I have been into various makeup stores and kind of tried to get foundation matches that are perfect for me, but I haven't really found anything better than what I've concocted myself. So I shall stick with this. Anyway, I put that on and then I use a sponge to blend it all in. And I use a very high magnification mirror because I don't want to see any lines or any demarcation. So I'll go right up into the hairline, trying not to actually get foundation on the hair. Really important to do your makeup in good light, preferably daylight, because that's the most harsh type of light, I guess. And if you look good in daylight, you'll look good in artificial light if you're going to an evening event or something like that, or an indoor event. I don't know what to expect from the Iron Maiden premiere tonight. I know I'll start outside, um, and it will be light tonight, so that's good. Okay, so that's my foundation and prep done. Now I just do something which is probably incredibly old-fashioned, but it works, so I change it. I load up a foundation brush with powder and I just pop it underneath my eyes. And this is to catch any residue of mascara that can fall off or smudge when you're doing it. And then while I'm here, I just use a bit of the excess powder just on top of my foundation to start getting that look. I like a radiant glow in the right places, but I don't do shiny. So I avoid shiny skin at every opportunity because it looks pretty terrible on camera. And I have a very good product by Mally, which I use just to kind of stop shine coming through when I'm actually filming. So I do everything in a very set order, probably like you do, just very set in my ways. So I'm going in with my mascara now. And I do the lower lashes first. And it's very important to try and get each individual lash coated, but not to kind of smudge too much. So this is why I think a really big magnifying mirror like the one I'm using is good for this. So that's the bottom done. Now to my eyebrows. Now, I plucked my eyebrows back in the day and they're virtually non-existent. I do like the look of Wet Leg singer Rianne and her bleached eyebrows, but I haven't even got enough eyebrows to bleach. So I'm just using an NYX brow pencil. Um, it's quite hard to do because my brows are really fine and very fair. So I try and pick them up and just do little tiny strokes so that it doesn't look sort of like a drawn on line, which isn't particularly flattering. My brows are not exactly symmetrical, but that's okay. No part of your face is symmetrical, and it doesn't really matter if there's a little bit of asymmetry because that is a natural look, in my opinion. If it's too symmetrical, it can start to look a bit, I don't know, less natural. I have to extend the tail a little bit as well because I haven't got any natural tail. So those are my brows. So by now my bottom mascara has dried and I can now go in and do the top. So again, using my magnifying mirror. I only ever use blackest of black mascara. Also, I don't think it's always necessary to use really expensive products. I found that less expensive products are equally as good. What I tend to do is I look at reviews. So when I'm searching for something, like when I wanted to try a new mascara, I searched for the most popular product and filtered the results by low price to high price. And then I found a mascara that I think was £6.99 with very good ratings. I'm using it now. It's Essence Lash Princess. And I do like this mascara. The brush is very accurate. And I just keep building up the coats. I am going to be wearing some half false lashes because I really like the kind of cat's eye look, glam look. So I will be wearing those, but I'm going to add those later, obviously, when this is all dried and when I've got my eyeliner on. Okay, so that's my top layer done. Now to blush. This is something I actually do spend a fair bit of time on because I think it makes a massive difference. So when I was on the Ghost Skeletour, I modularized all of my makeup because I didn't want to forget anything, and also I wanted it easy to transport and easy to get at when I was in my dressing room, so I wasn't scrabbling around looking for stuff. So I'm moving on to my blush now. I really like the Revolution Beauty Bouncy Blur Blush. This shade is, oh, I can't see. I think it's a kind of rose shade. Anyway, I'm pretty liberal with this actually, and I just use my finger to blend it in. I actually use several layers of blush, as you'll see with my finished look, but I kind of use this as the base layer. And then I build on it, and I like a kind of flush of blush, but then I put some extra I put a kind of pinky shade, more of a bright pink. I just put on the apples of my cheeks, and I think that gives me uh kind of a nice rosy kind of look, if that makes sense. Um, I use Makeup Academy blush in watermelon, uh, and I just pop that on the apples of my cheeks. And I do kind of blend this in quite a bit. And I do find that it fades over time as well. So I start with it quite intense, but it will knock back gradually. So that's the general start for what I'm doing. Now I I have forgot one thing, which I will show you. I really like the Natasha Denona Hygen skincare infused glow beautifier. It's this gorgeous kind of creamy champagne color that gives a lovely shimmer, but it doesn't look over the top. And I just put that on the very kind of tops of my cheeks because I think that gives a nice glow. And I put a little bit under my eyebrows. I mean, you can basically put it anywhere where you want to highlight and with the camera to pick up a little bit of shine. I think you can see it there. Obviously, how this looks on you will very much depend on the lighting that you're in. And I say that because on Instagram, you'll see a lot of influencers showing these beautiful glass cheeks, and you've got to have this product and it's going to give you that look. But in reality, it's because they're really well lit and the light is catching on on the product that they're trying to sell. And in reality, in normal lighting, it probably won't look like that. So my advice is to be a little bit careful of that. Okay, I'm going to start my eyes now, and that they're really simple. I have a Revolution Beauty Celestial Icon palette. I really like this because it's got some really gorgeous shades. And the first stage of my eye makeup is I just saturate the lid with a light colour that's got a little bit of glitter in it. And this is going to be the base for my eyeliner. I don't know, you probably can't really see. But yeah, it just gives a little kind of iridescent look to the lid. Okay, so that's as far as I can show you now, because I am going to now do my eyeliner, and I have to do that standing in a mirror because I find it standing looking in a mirror because I find it really hard to get it accurate. and even, and it actually takes me a long time to do it properly. So I will do that off camera and come back and show you the result. But it's literally I draw a line across the top and then I try and do a wing up. And I really like the Kat Von D ink liner and tattoo liner. I use a combination of those. So let me go and do that, and I'll come back and show you the end result. Okay, so that's my eyes done. I have got some false lashes on. I think they are a really, really good way to elevate a look and take it to another level of glam. Definitely part of my ritual ready look on the Ghost Skeletour. And these are tatty lashes, and they're a half lash cat eye effect. And I find that these get better the more you wear them. So I probably can last, I don't know, 6 or 7 uh, occasions with these. So I am coming to the end of getting my makeup done. And I'm just going to do a few finishing touches. So I'm going to get rid of the powder underneath my eyes now because all of my makeup is pretty done. You may have noticed I put a little bit of extra of the sparkly eyeshadow into the corners there. I think that really does open up your eyes and brighten the look. Now, because I have quite a dramatic eye makeup, I only use lip gloss. I don't like lipstick at all, to be fair. And I think dramatic eyes and then really strong lips, I think is too much for me. So I use a lip gloss, and I love the Plumpgasm lip gloss by Charlotte Tilbury. And this is a very nude shade, and it has plumping ingredients in it. You can feel it tingling, and it does really plump up your lips, as it says on the packaging. And I just like a nude colour. It's natural. It's got a little bit of glitter and shine in it. You know I love my glitter and shine, but I don't want to overdo it. And it just gives you that really nice polish and perfected look. So there you can see. On the Skeletor, you know, I loved my glitter. I would put a lot of glitter up around here. I had my bindi. I'm not doing that today. That was my look for the Skeletor. And it's probably a little bit over the top for today's festivities. So I won't do that. But now I'm just going to finish everything off. This is the product I mentioned earlier by Mally. It's the Face Defender. It is a white, transparent, I guess gel. And I absolutely love it because it gets rid of shine. It's the best thing to get rid of shine, in my opinion. But not only that, it also just holds your makeup in place. It gives a very kind of diffused glow. It stops you being shiny, as I said, which is the most important thing when you're on camera. You do not want to look shiny, trust me. So I just pat this on, looking for areas of shine. And it does give a really soft, lifted, diffused look. You can't see it, it's very natural, but it's there as a very fine layer on the skin. I take that with me in my handbag. along with my lip gloss and a little bit of blush, and they're the only things that I take with me to top up on filming. And I guess the last thing I use is this product by Focallure, which is Star Crash stretch highlights in a color called Ice Planet. And it's this really beautiful iridescent, it's kind of spongy, as you can see. I just load my finger up with it and then I just brush it across the tops of my cheeks. And again, blend in because you don't want a visible line on anything you're doing. So there you can see it gives a really lovely result. By the way, I haven't got any filters or anything on this. This is just natural lighting. I'm sitting by a window over there. And I've just got this light on behind me to help. So you can see that that gives a really nice sheen to the skin. And you don't really have to top this up too much during the day. It kind of sits there well. So that's pretty much my finished look. Right now, I'm going to go and do my hair, and I will come back and just show you the final look for the Iron Maiden premiere tonight. So, hair done, earrings in. This is my finished look tonight. A sort of half and half. A little bit Gwen Stefani, I suppose, but I was doing this back in the 90s. Yeah, the dress code tonight is smart with edge battle jackets optional. I no longer have a battle jacket. I used to, but it got lost in the mists of time and various house moves. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to wear. The sun has just come out. Luckily, it's not going to rain. But the good thing about this makeup look is it's not dependent on your outfit. You don't have to coordinate it. It's a very generic look that works with any outfit. So I shall now go and decide what I'm actually going to wear to the Iron Maiden Burning Ambition film premiere. And to find out what I choose, you will have to watch my coverage from the event, which I'll be posting as soon as I can after the premiere. And I'll be reviewing the film as well because I've got a ticket to see it. So I hope you have enjoyed getting ready with me for the Iron Maiden film premiere. And thank you so much for watching. And I do hope you've enjoyed watching my makeup routine, the exact same one that I did on the Ghost Skeletour. Thank you. Bye.